Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyazifunde iy'ncwadi ey'bhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu bese sizala sokhuluma ngazo le story esisuke sizifundile sixoxela laba phela abasuke bengenaso isikhathi sokufunda iy'ncwadi nalaba nje abasuke bey'nqenela nje ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sizokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senze ama-recaps or ama-reviews. Siphinde futhi sikhulume any other issues ke avukayo uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukile kwi-TV. Uma ngabe okokuqala usijoyina namhlanje and you like our content, please subscribe la ngezansi. Uma ngabe ibhathini elibhalwe subscribe libomvu, it means ukuthi awukazi uzosubscribe, kodwa uma ngabe li-grey it means ukuthi ususubscribile. And ungakhohlwa ukuthi upress i-notification bell la eduze kuka-subscribe ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe fakile umsebenzi omusha. Guys, you'll have to bear with me today. It's one of those weekends without a nanny, so I am my own nanny. Somaniza umsindo la I do. Yes, po. Let's do this video. So earlier on today I posted a video. I was doing a recap episode 3 Real Housewives of Durban season 2. Listen guys, I did say it seemed like a very long episode only because there's no drama. It's like when the drama happens I complain, complain. But today I just wanted to talk about into that as viewers funny sometimes siyinake uma ngabe sibuka lama reality shows lawa. Listen, just as much as sifuna kube ne-drama when we watch ama-reality shows, the producers of the show also want ukuthi kube ne-drama. Obviously they don't want violence or anything like that, because then it wouldn't be a good show, but they do want ilokhuzana drama. And some of the things abazenzayo to set up ama-scenes kule lokhuzana kule show lena, they set the scenes up in a way that will cause women to have some conflict. And I think sometimes maybe now, but the women are aware that they are being set up, but sometimes they're not. You can see that they are not aware that they are being set up. One of the things Abes got us in confused a lot leading up to season 2 episode 3 was the fact that why are these women not figuring out ukuthi uthobile lo oba invitile to a black tie event? Because my thing has been ukuthi they already know ukuthi there's 3 housewives that have been added this season, and 2 of the housewives have already been introduced, and there's 1 that hasn't been introduced. So shouldn't it be obvious to them ukuthi the person about invite her to a black tie event is Zuma Khumalo? And that has been bothering me. Why are they pretending to not know Zuma Khumalo? But this episode I actually realized no, they actually didn't know. They didn't know, and they had no way of knowing Zuma Khumalo, because they really didn't know and there's a possibility they really didn't know the 3rd housewife was Zuma Khumalo. In fact, there's a possibility they didn't even know ama housewives are all 3. They probably thought there's only 2 housewives that have been added. Remember announcement yokuthi uMa Khumalo no Londi London no Jojo are the ones abazojoin Real Housewives of Durban must have happened less than a month ago. And less than a month ago the show must have been done shooting ilokhuzana season 2. So it's possible when they started shooting the show they hid it from these women you do have new housewives and there's 3 of them, or maybe they did say we're going to be adding new women here, but since only 2 women came to shoot that first scene endlini kaNonku, everybody assumed okay, we've already seen the new women, which is Ujojo no Londi London. So they had no idea it's a possibility they had no idea there's a 3rd housewife that is still going to be added. Okay, and then you go on inside Dilgama Khumalo. Honestly, I don't think she knew she is a surprise addition to the other women. I don't think so. And it creates that weird vibe now where she is planning this event with people that don't even know ukuthi she is coming, she's possibly coming, they don't even know ukuthi naye she has been casted on the show, because at least if they knew, they would have guessed ukuthi uyena, and i-reaction yabo when she comes wouldn't be the way that it is. So imagine this, these women are there, all of them, they think ukuthi sebephelele, okay fine, we were last season, wahamba Ayanda wahamba Khumuso, they were replaced because kuhamba abantu abawu-2 kwabuya abawu-2, kuhamba Ayanda noKhumuso, then they added uJojo, they added uLondi London, so everybody thinks siphelele lana. Okay, so siphelele sekuediwe abantu abawu-2, siyaqhubeka ne-show, you know, we're getting to know these two new women. The next thing, invite to a black tie event, and everyone okhona lana, because they thought ukuthi uJojo is saying no guys akumina ngin-invite, and everyone else is like no akumina guys. So obviously mabe in that black tie event, they are not thinking ukuthi umuntu ozoba invite is another woman who might possibly be a cast member. They are thinking mhlawumbe bamenyo president of the country or imayor yaseThekwini, you know what I mean, because honestly bacabanga ukuthi bona sebephelele kwi-show. So mabefika laphayana, and then uThobile comes, number one, there is a confusion in their faces. It's like and then sihlanganaphi thina with Umseleko, and then it's also Umseleko who is known from uThando Nesithembu with ilokhuzana. You can imagine the confusion. It's like, okay manje thina siqhuma pla ibona abantu abasostile for what, and then maybe only later on are they realizing, oh okay, that means that she is going to be part of the show. Are they not justified in the way that they are reacting to seeing uThobile there, especially uLachonco being somebody that knows uThobile outside of the show, to be like hayibo ngazi ngakreatela expectation engaka nje kanti ngiyohlangana noThobile lo engimaziyo, because they were expecting someone different. They think ukuthi sebephelele as cast members, they are thinking ukuthi nje they just kune event aba-organizele kona, and there's this big person ozofika as a host of that event. I personally think ukuthi they were justified in being surprised, whether their surprise was negative or positive. In fact, because uLachonco says ukuthi ene how sengaze ngilinde kangaka ngilinde uThobile nje, and she's like I'm so disappointed. Of course she's disappointed because she expected ukuthi drop omunye umuntu, just you know, some high profile person, maybe the president. I don't know what she was thinking. Like she says she's thinking maybe Oprah, and people are saying ukuthi uLachonco thinks ukuthi she's at the level your Oprah. She's not saying that, she's just saying ukuthi she expected to see somebody as big as Oprah to come, because honestly they did not know ukuthi the locals and the producers were still planning to add another cast member. And I think that they did intentional, producers, because they did want to get that reaction from the women, especially because they knew ukuthi uLachonco knows uThobile outside of the show. They knew what specifically at the end of the show they get her reaction, not even the other people, they get Lachonco, because Lachonco is the one that knew uThobile prior to the show. And then we go to Iside Makhumalo. Makhumalo was so late, guys. We know we watch Uthando Nesithembu. Makhumalo is the one that goes like this when they have an event laphayana kaMseleko. Abolona oma ngabe besabhizi benza ama makeup, basenza amakhanda, she'll be all dressed up and ready to go, because she always says ukuthi uyasihlonipha isikhathi. And then now she's going on Real Housewives of Durban, and she's hours and hours late. Abantu bahlale baze badle at her event engakafiki. Do you think ukuthi she did that like intentionally? Did that she decided ukuthi nje uzoba late, or akaplananga kahle izinto zakhe wazoba late, when we had seen her earlier on talking with Umpilo, preparing for an event kusasemini, which showed ukuthi she had enough time ukuthi prepare. It didn't make sense to me. I really honestly suspect ukuthi even the reason she is late is not her fault. That was planned by the producers because they wanted to get the reaction that they got from today's episode. Phela vele lento, it's a reality show, but it is a show after all. So if they're going to say they're going to shoot a scene, they're going to tell you, each of the cast members, they're going to say you need to be at this place at this time. You know, you need to show up at 6, you need to show up at 7, you need to show up at this time, and you need to show up at this time. And they could easily have told Makhumalo ukuthi you need to show up 3 hours later And because we don't even know ukuthi uMakhumalo actually saw the invitation that went to the women, because there is a possibility ukuthi that invitation was done by the producers and sent to the woman, and she was told, okay, we're going to have a black tie event, you are going to be the one that is going to act like you organized this event. But did she actually write whatever time that was written on the card to say this is how what time you're supposed to be at that event? She might not have even seen what was written on that card, and they had that time to say show up for the scene at maybe 6 p.m. and then she was told you need to show up for a scene at 9 o'clock. We need to be aware ukuthi kunama set up enziwa ama-producers, because they need to prompt. Like I said, it's becoming boring now, the show, because all we are watching is this event here and then that event here. This one has coffee with this one has drinks with this one has lunch with this one. They need to push it. They need to push the women to have some sort of ilokhuzana drama. Now we are there. It's weird now because number one, lo muntu bebengam expectile lana. Even the conversation is not gonna flow as much because bane disappointment. You go, oh, okay, Salinda, this month. Number one, le host yakhona efika 3 hours later. If it was 3 hours later, they didn't say how long they had to wait. And then we find out it's not really someone as big, because enye into is that as much as to us the viewers, abantu bakamsele are celebrities and are big people. If ilokhuzana umsele showed up at my house, I wouldn't know what to do with myself, because to me they are celebrities. But we need to remember to these women, they're not. So it's like they set it up as if they're bringing people that are big, but maybe these people are not as big to the people that they were presenting them to. Also, now, sometimes I feel like they act as if people should know who they are, and people should recognize them as a celebrity. But it's not at every place that it's going to be like that. For us, as Babuga with TV Valley, it's gonna be a wow if we ever meet them. But for other people, like those women on the Real Housewives of Durban, it didn't work out that way. Nobody was really that excited to see them. And I think it might have been something that Vele was set up to be that way. I do think uMakhumalo is being set up by the producers. I think her being late, I don't believe that was from her part. I would need evidence to know really it was her fault. And even if the producers told her to come in late, she's not going to say that, because Mabeshu's reality show, they almost have to pretend as if there's no producers telling them what to do around. So we're never really going to find out that there was something that was put together by the producers to say, come in, but come in only 3 hours late. So I do feel like they are setting her up for a drama. But I feel like to Uthobile being Uthobile, they're probably not going to get the reaction from her. The women have reacted to her, but how she's going to react to the women might not be what the producers are hoping for, because she might handle it differently. We have seen her in situations where we thought she was going to lose her cool and she didn't. So they might not get it back as much as they think they're going to. We've seen a preview where Umyenwak is trying to convince everybody what is temple is the way to go, and she goes, if ushade nendoda yomZulu uzoba ayithobile kahle. If ushade nendoda yomZulu ayibo baningi abantu bashade namadoda amaZulu angathathile ithembu, they don't want ithembu. I don't like that. It's like ithembu, they're trying to put it down people's throats. It's not everybody that wants ithembu. I think even that, it's not gonna help them to get along with the women. But I think uMakhumalo being uMakhumalo, she's gonna find her way out of that weirdness. Uzoyithola indlela ukuthi aphume and get along with these women, because one thing I know is that as it stands, she gets along with everybody. So, and they have shot the show baqeda ngayo, and she gets along with everybody. So it looks like she did find her feet, and she did find her way out of that weirdness of the way that she was introduced. I think ukuthi bamenze kabi ama-producers abam-introducanga kabi. I don't know why they chose her as the person that they will hold back on before they introduce the way that they introduced her. If it was somebody like, I don't know, some minister of ban angazi somebody bigger and somebody angazi mina ozoba impressa these women mhlambe it would have made sense, but I think ukuthi ene bamenzele phansi kodwa I trust ukuthi uzokwazi ukuphuma kulento le azophuma kulento abamfake kuyona, because I do believe ukuthi ufakiwe ngokuthi abe late ufakiwe futhi ngokuthi kube yisurprise ukuthi ene uyeza to these women. I wonder if she knows ukuthi abamazi ukuthi uyeza. I wonder ukuthi she even knows. Maybe she thinks ukuthi they already know ukuthi she's a cast member. You know, it's like manje uzoshutheka say I'm also part of this. I don't like ukuthi they did that to her. But that is my thought about today's setup. I'm gonna say it's a setup because I think they did set these women up and they played right on it, because their reaction really ended up being what the producers probably wanted. But moving forward, they might not get what they want, so they're gonna have to look at something else for us to get us that drama. Because this is Nyahamba, we are already going to episode 4, and there's no storyline that has any drama on it except for any no, and that thing is now boring. You know, but guess sizoloku sibuka and see ukuthi kupho kunye esingakuthola kule show. Akhona yini ama lessons kule show, except ukuthi nje leza zindlu zabo sonke siyayifuna nje ukuthi siphile sihlale kuleza zindlu zabo, we all want their cars, but other than that khona mhlawumbe are the lessons. I'm sure there are lessons, but yeah, I do love the show. I just don't like the fact that they feeling at iyaboranyana with them. They need to come up. Maybe they should do a girls trip. They always do a girls trip anyway. My reality shows. I think maybe if they do a girls trip, then it would. You know, when you are away, you know, people will have a little bit more fun than they're supposed to, and drink a little bit more, and then have some drama and all of that. So kubangwe nama room who sleeps away. Yeah, maybe that might work out. But thank you so much because nibuke I video ya meaning aphumi kuyona ningayilike, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Those who like Zulu books, guys, our book is here. So next week sizobe sibhizi ngayo. Ifa ngukufa. That could be so true, eh? This book was recommended by Usipho Sonke. Please go out and go and check her channel, Sipho Sonke, reviews with Sipho Sonke. And yeah, please check out her channel. Thank you so much. Ningakhohlwa ukuthi ni share video with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Nginithanda kakhulu.